If species are not fixed, then how did they diversify? Darwin was an avid reader, so he knew of the geological theory of gradualism and the extraordinary power of gradual, infinitesimal changes to transform the face of the earth, put forward by Charles Lyell as evidenced in this passage from Darwin's On the Origin of Species. He who can read Sir Charles Lyell's grand work on the principles of geology, which the future historian will recognize as having produced a revolution in natural science, and yet does not admit how vast have been the past periods of time, may at once close this volume. Darwin also knew of the geometrical ratio of increase, known as the doctrine of Malthus, which he also discussed in On the Origin of Species. A struggle for existence inevitably follows from the high rate at which all organic beings tend to increase. Every being, which during its natural lifetime produces several eggs or seeds, must suffer destruction during some period of its life, and during some season or occasional year. Otherwise, on the principle of geometrical increase, its numbers would quickly become so inordinately great that no country could support the product. Hence, as more individuals are produced than can possibly survive, there must in every case be a struggle for existence, either one individual with another of the same species, or with the individuals of distinct species, or with the physical conditions of life. It is the doctrine of Malthus applied with manifold force to the whole animal and vegetable kingdoms, for in this case there can be no artificial increase of food, and no prudential restraint from marriage. Although some species may be now increasing more or less rapidly in numbers, all cannot do so, for the world would not hold them. Darwin thought more deeply than the average gentleman of his time about more commonplace observations concerning domesticated plants and animals. Domestic races of the same species differ from each other in the same manner as do the closely allied species of the same genus in a state of nature, but the differences in most cases are less in degree. This must be admitted as true, for the domestic races of many animals and plants have been ranked by some competent judges as the descendants of aboriginally distinct species, and by other competent judges as mere varieties. If human beings can cause such dramatic changes in the shape and form of animals and plants over the course of several generations, Darwin could only imagine how much change could occur by means of natural forces over tens of thousands or millions of generations.